Hi, this video is going to be about how to get a reverse PTR record for your server that is located in the Amazon cloud that you will have an SMTP server on it. Amazon makes it difficult to have an email server on their servers. One of the biggest problems is even if you've got one set to port 25 and you're trying to send through port 25, often Amazon will block that and not let those go through. They really want to control spam. They don't want people spinning up something on their system and just using it for a spam, phishing, and things like that. So that's understandable, but it does make an administrator's life a little bit more miserable trying to pick apart the details of getting an email server up and going, something that should be fairly simple, but has turned into a lot of different aspects. One of the aspects that you're going to need other than this is whoever hosts your site, whether it be GoDaddy or someone like that, you're going to need to go into the DNS settings and you're going to need to make sure that those are set up correctly with an MX record. And you're also going to have to set up DKIM, digital key signing. I believe it's SPD or SPF, one of the two like that. I don't remember right offhand. And then you're going to need the DMARC, DMARC. So you're going to have those three things in place on your hosting site DNS, and that's just part of it. Once you've got that complete, and there's plenty of other places to go through that'll even help you build the DMARC, that'll get you a digital key and be able to create the records for those. A lot of good information out there on YouTube. Also, just typing it in search, you'll be able to find it. It's fairly easy. The biggest problem I had was the DMARC, figuring out how to get those put into my DNS. Turns out that it needs like 3 records, one for the RAF, one for RUF, and then one for whether it's enabled or not. Once I got those in there, that came out fine, and that part of it is good, and everybody likes that part, but spamhouse.org doesn't like the fact that they cannot do a reverse lookup on my domain and see that it's coming from the Elastic IP in Amazon. So that's where we need to do today, is to get that reverse IP set up. You cannot do this from GoDaddy or whoever you host from. It has to be done from the owner of the IP address. In this case, it's an Elastic IP, and I'm going through Amazon AWS, so they're the ones that have to set this up. I did find some mentions to Route 53 and setting things up, but the more I dug and got to looking, basically there's a spot you can use to update reverse DNS using Elastic Compute Cloud or the command line interface, but your instance has to be in one of these places: US East Ohio, Africa, Cape Town, Asian Pacific, Mumbai, Canada, Central Europe, Milan regions. If you do not belong to any of those regions, we have to request that it is put in that we're able to send email through the AWS server so they can get the reverse pointer record for us. And that's what I'm looking at here today. Mine's over in the West Coast. Obviously, that doesn't apply to any of these. So you're going to click on the link, request to remove reverse DNS and email sending limitations. Now to get to this here, this is the link you'll go to. You can pause and type that in. But once you put this into your browser, that's going to land you at this page. You're going to click request to remove reverse DNS and email sending limitations. Now again, I had problems with port 25 from the get-go. Even using an outside SMTP provider, So I had to give it a separate port. And after I did that and allowed that through the firewall and the security group, the provider was able to send the emails without a problem. But I decided to ditch the provider and set up my own email server. Um, and this is where I get into the problems here of having to make sure everything's correct. So they're going to want your email address. They're going to want a use case description. A valid use case description should consist of the following, da, 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 da. Why am I sending emails? Why am I requesting that my AWS instance sends emails? Well, a good example of that might be my application sends out notifications to current customers, password resets, whatever the case may be, bearing in mind that, if it looks fishy, if it's going to be for spam, chances are they're not going to do this. And if you get caught doing something like that, they're going to shut you down anyways. But you need to tell them why the email needs to be let through. Elastic IP information, you're going to get the Elastic IP for the server that is going to be your SMTP server, and you're going to put that in here. This is optional. You could put different reverse DNS records. Perhaps if you had more than one SMTP server on your AWS server tied to different domains, that would be a reason, I suppose. Once you've got this information in here, just submit, and this will send it off to Amazon. From there, you should get an email confirmation from them that they are going to process it. That's it for me. I hope this helps somebody out with a little bit of straightforward advice on how to get that done without having to dig 3 days through internet stuff just to find a simple answer. Good luck.